Hello, everyone. Dustin's waving, which doesn't
Hi.
work well on an audio podcast.
You would think we would know by now, but we don't.
Yeah, we have video, but most of you are not on the video, I'm sure. Anyway, welcome. A hearty wave from both of us.
Hello.
And welcome to Movie Boners. This is going to be an interesting one because it's always interesting. And I think I talked about it last time.
Journey we went on.
Yeah, it was ups and downs for sure. Also, unexpected places as well. I talked about it last time that not everybody loves the random 10 episodes.
True.
I think that they're fun mostly because you get to experience some different things. And there's always some hidden gems. Some ones are like, that was really good. I'm glad that I saw it because I would have never otherwise seen that movie. And that's good. But then there's also a lot of stuff you're like, how does this exist in the world? And how did someone make this? How does it on a legitimate streaming service and not the dark web in some cases? So we had at least one of those.
Yeah, I feel like we do have one of those that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. So, but before we get into it, if you want to watch all 10 random movies that we listed, we do have them up on Instagram. There's a highlight at the top of our profile page that goes through what they all were. If you didn't listen to previous episodes where we actually drew them live on the show. And yeah, so you know what they are. You can listen to them. They will be spoiler heavy for sure when we get into them because there's no other way to really talk about how crazy a lot of these movies are.
Uh-huh. How just oddball some of them are. Yeah.
And I'll try to list where you can find them if you want to just listen during the episode because a lot of them are free. They're either free on Tubi or Hoopla, the library app. If you have a library card, you can watch a lot of free movies, which is cool. But yeah, before we do that though, let's check in on the movie draft. And not a ton has changed.
No.
Same story, different tune. I'm winning still. Handily.
I am winning still.
We had Roofman come out, which I know we were both excited to actually see. And when that happens, seems pretty good. 7.2 on IMDb. Right. Actually, we both had 86% audience score movies come out. You had Roofman, and I had Tron Ares. But Roofman has an 85% critics rating, which only gives you one extra point. And Tron Ares has a 52% critic rating. Critics don't like Tron Ares, but audiences are like, it's pretty cool.
Unfortunately, audiences are not showing up.
No, only 70 million in the first week.
Apparently, it's Jared Leto's biggest flop of his career, which was kind of a bummer to hear because I think it looks really cool. So I don't know why it's not doing well.
I think Tron, the reason I drafted it is because the second Tron movie, whatever that was called, was cool. It kind of has like a cult following now.
Yeah.
And also the idea of Tron Ares where like the game comes into the real world kind of sounds, and like AI and VR or whatever sounds really cool. So maybe audiences are just missing out and it actually is cool, but we'll have to see it to know for sure.
Yeah, maybe.
What else happened? I don't know if you saw the trailer for The Bride.
I did.
It looks awesome. I think it looks really cool, and I'm sad it doesn't come out this year because I drafted it and they pushed it.
It does look cooler than I thought it was going to. There was another trailer that I saw that I was like, I wonder if Jake watched that. So now I have to try and figure out what that was. Because we've missed...
Cool thing we've missed a while. The cool thing about The Bride is that it's kind of like a gothic Bonnie and Clyde is the vibe I got.
That's kind of what it looked like, yeah. It looks a little wild. It really does. I can't remember. There was another trailer that I recently watched that I was like, ooh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. I had so much hesitation on The Running Man, even though it's Edgar Wright and even though Glenn Powell's cool. But after seeing that trailer, I'm really excited about that movie too.
Yeah, Running Man actually looks like a blast. I'm really bummed that you have it.
Yeah, it comes out just a couple weeks. So I replaced The Bride with that. Hopefully that does well. But yeah, getting up to the end of it.
I know.
Only 2 months left, but they're big months.
It's a
November and
wild.
December. November, December are very big for sure. So
I can't believe I'm still so mad that you got Avatar. So I know you're gonna win the the money, because you're gonna finish the year with yet another $1 billion movie. And
yeah, yeah. Currently sitting at was that less than 600 million, 500 million, half a billion almost.
mhm.
But yeah, I don't think they're going to catch up. Even though Wicked will do a lot, Wicked will probably do 700 million at
Yeah.
least. Zootopia 2 hopefully will also do a lot. So I don't think you're catching up in that regard. But
No, I don't
the rating could change for sure, or score or whatever. We'll see. Anyway,
like the drastic dip that the
sharp
graph
dip.
has right there.
Yeah. It's partly because I didn't update the scores for a while, and then it's interesting keeping up with this for the last couple of years. It seems like movies that come out in theaters and they have like a 6.7, 6.8 or whatever, and then it may drop a couple tenths of a point through the run of the theatrical releases. People see it, but by the time it gets to streaming, it seems like it drops another 3 or 4 tenths of a point. And so I think that was the case with like Superman and Fantastic Four and Freakier Friday. They're like, it was fine, but
it was okay.
It wasn't a 7.0, so let's just calm down. All right. What new stuff have you seen?
Well, besides the 10, I did manage to watch a couple movies. I was a little shocked. One I really liked, and one I was extremely let down and disappointed in. So I watched, it came out last year actually, but I just now got around to watching it. I watched the newest Salem's,
okay, yeah,
which I was really excited for. I was still really
Stephen
bummed.
King adaptation.
Yeah. I was really excited because I love the book. It's so good. The book is so cool. And I was excited for like a theatrical run for Salem's Lot, and it was originally supposed to get that, but then it went straight to streaming, which was a bummer. And then I just didn't watch it, partly because I was a little like minced about that. But I finally saw it, and it sucked. It was so bad.
No.
I was so like, I was reading stuff about it, and the guy that wrote it and directed it was like, I wanted to make vampires scary again. And it was like, well, you didn't. They just aren't creepy. They just don't do a lot in this one. It's like a very boring adaptation, which kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was really let down. I just kind of like, well, at least I have the mini series from back in the day, because that's actually pretty well done.
Okay.
Yeah. So Salem's Lot, not great. Don't worry about it. But then, I don't know why, but I was like, fine, I'm just going to watch this. I know I'm going to hate it. It's going to be terrible because it's just not going to live up to how much fun that first one is. And so I watched Megan 2.0.
Okay. Yeah.
And flippin' loved it. That was one of the most entertaining sequels I have seen in so long. It was like they watched Terminator and Terminator 2 and went, what if we kind of just made fun of all of this? Because the first Megan's already kind of tongue-in-cheek and super cheesy and way more entertaining than it has any right to be. Megan 2.0 just doubles down on all of that, but now it's robot versus robot. And I thought I was going to hate it, but it ended up being so much freaking fun. I'm like,
that sounds great.
The Megan movies have no right to be this entertaining. They should be the worst movies ever, but they're fantastic. So
yeah, kind of came out of nowhere, and they're really
seriously.
Fun.
Yeah, like it's not scary. It doesn't even try to be. In fact, they completely omit the like horror aspect of it and go straight action, but it's all tongue-in-cheek style. So it's just like, you know what? Make a third one. I don't care. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's ride the Megan train.
Yeah, let's Terminator franchise this the whole way through, but with Megan.
Yeah. That's awesome. I was interested in seeing the uncut version of the first one, but
it's more F-bombs, and you see like 1 or 2 blood splatters, but there's really no.
Okay.
difference.
I was hoping for like definitely more violence, but
No, it's about the same.
I assume 2.0 is the same
Yeah.
PG-13 situation.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool.
But
That's fun.
you won't, Jake, I think you would have a blast with it because it's so
Mhm.
mindless and it just unapologetic about what it is. And that's what makes it great. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I love when movies are like that. Okay, I watched a couple of things, only one movie though.
Of course, you watched another
So,
dating show, didn't you?
well, yeah.
Yeah.
I need to watch I need to watch 2 dating shows. So there's Love is Blind Denver.
Man, I knew it was going to be Love is Blind. I knew it.
There's a Denver season. And spoiler, I don't know anybody on it, which is a little disappointing. But it was a little fun seeing like, oh, they're shooting at this park or they're shooting in this skyline or whatever. It was medium fine. Fun overall. I'm not going to bore you with the details. Also, Golden Bachelor, season 2. So I don't watch The Bachelor. I don't give a shit about Bachelor, but the Golden Bachelor is actually kind of fun because it's all old people. They're all like in their 60s and 70s, and I think there was a lady in her 80s, and yeah, they're just old. Just instead of 20-year-old horny kids, it's 80-year-old horny kids, and so it's fun. Well, I got old, and this is how I spend my time. But I watched an actual TV show, a real life narrative driven fun TV show. Chad Powers, the Hulu show.
How is that?
It's great.
Okay.
It's really good. It's wild that they took this. What was it, like a skit or a
It was
prank?
just a prank that Eli Manning did.
Yeah, Eli Manning, one of the greatest Super Bowl winning quarterbacks of all time. I don't know about all time, whatever. He just puts on this prosthetic. Dustin's not on board with that statement. He beat Tom Brady several times. I know that.
He beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl, true, which is like his main claim
One of the
to
only
fame.
people, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he did this prank on ESPN where he put on this prosthetic makeup and went to like a, I don't know, junior college football tryout or something. And the gimmick was just, people's faces as he is amazing at football. And they somehow turned that into this show with Glenn Powell, who is this like guy who did this similar thing, screwed up his life and became super famous for being a screw up and wanted a second chance. So he does this. Mrs. Doubtfire is a football scholarship basically in college. And it's great. It's really, really good. Has a lot of heart. He's a dick in real life, but also his character is really, really funny with the makeup on. And yeah, I really like where it's going. I've seen 4 episodes, 3 episodes, 4 episodes.
How many episodes is it? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's ongoing still. It's not like a drop all at once kind of thing.
Oh, so it wasn't like a mini series.
No, it's a week-to-week thing.
Oh, cool.
And I think it's a full season because we're 4 episodes in and, they're just kind of still establishing stuff. It could be multiple seasons. I hope it is because it's pretty fun. But they're short 30-minute episodes.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun.
Well, that piques my interest way.
Yeah. High recommend for sure.
Yeah.
And then the movie I watched is really crazy. I've been thinking about it for weeks since seeing it. It's called Hellbender, and it's from 2021. It has a 5.8 on IMDb, and I kind of understand it because I don't think it's for everyone, but I loved it. I was really into it. It's basically kind of, it's kind of hard to describe. The thing about Hellbender that grabbed me is that it is extremely unique and very creative and does a lot of things that I've never seen movies do before.
Okay.
Super low budget. It's a Shudder original movie. And I guess this crew of writers and directors and actresses, maybe at least one actress, have made several movies, and I want to check out their other movies as well. I think they're called Adam's Family Production because a couple of them are related. But it's kind of a very different take on a witch story, like a witch in the woods kind of story about this mom and her daughter, and she kind of like keeps her daughter in this house in the forest, and then her daughter kind of tries to venture out and meet the neighbors and stuff. And very, very different, very, very interesting, very clever use of both low budget practical and digital effects
Mhm.
and very effective in all of the things that it does. I walked away from it being like, that was so originally and uniquely written and edited and all of that stuff. I was super, super into it.
Hmm.
So if you
I'm
just
watching the
want to,
trailer right now.
yeah, if you want like a very unique sort of witch story, especially around Halloween and stuff, very cool.
There's a lot of like, don't tell me
anything.
anything because
Yeah.
I'm curious, but the trailer's showing a lot of like kind of duality shots, kind of like mirror images and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Well,
kind
that
of
was a
plays
cool
into
shot.
the overall story.
5.8. I mean, you see anything below 6, and I know generally it's like, ugh. But I think 5.8 is like, it's right on that borderline. Well, that's interesting. It's got a 70% Metascore. So it's
Okay.
got a really high, the Metacritic. It's
Yeah.
got really high critic score.
Okay.
Interesting.
I could see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's definitely an interesting one to see, but yeah, I don't want to give too much away about it.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
liked it. Okay.
All right.
So enough of that. Let's get into 10 randomly drawn movies.
The nonsense commences now.
And I just have them listed in the order that we did, like, spun them. Is that cool with you?
Yeah,
we talked
that's
through in
fine.
that order. Okay. And it's I don't even know any sort of preamble to talk about.
I don't think there is.
I didn't notice any sort of trends, or it was really kind of just a random smattering.
This was really
things.
The gambit here that we did. And if you joined us, you know.
Yes, you should watch these movies just for the experience. Then when we get into it, there may be a couple we definitely do not recommend, but but
I've got a few.
At least you'll know what we're talking about.
Right.
Okay, so let's talk about the first one, Locked Up from 2017, which is, when we drew it on realgood.com, you can see it's free on Tubi and Pluto TV and Crackle and Fossum, and they list Hoopla under the you need a subscription thing, but if you have a library card, it's free. So yeah, free in a lot of places. Locked Up has a 3.8 on IMDb, for one thing.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing about Locked Up is it's about this young girl, hopefully not too young, upper
really
high school.
Hoping. It's hard to tell.
Upper high school, at least, girl who's abroad at school in Korea? Japan? Thank you.
Korea.
You know, I don't know. It's probably Japan.
I like how you're like, I don't know how to. I didn't know what this movie was about.
Me neither. Well, we read the thing that said it was just about this girl getting bullied at a school in Southeast Asia. It may not be a country. It says Southeast Asia. They probably never mention it.
Okay,
so
yeah.
It's up to you
to
assume and be racist about. At least I didn't say China. I feel like that's the thing. It's like, well, you can't just assume it's China. Korea is like kind of a safe.
But now you're sounding more.
Yeah, I'm gonna
moving on.
But it's about the girl that gets bullied and she fights back and then gets sent to a reform school. But the school is more like a prison, which I didn't get. That gets sent to a reform school.
Well,
I thought she got arrested.
So no, see, the description says reform school, but it is a straight prison. Like she is sent to this prison for assault.
Correct. That's exactly what I read into it.
Yeah. So I think the description on IMDb is trying to like fluff it up a little bit because they know that when people sit down to watch this, they're going to be like, wait, what? Like,
yeah, it's a very different vibe if you go into it knowing, no, it's about a girl like a young girl, potentially upper teenage girl in a woman's prison.
Yeah. So she's got to at least be 18.
Let's hope.
There's no justifying this. Folks, movies.
There's a lot of nudity in this movie.
There's so much. I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. The implied rape was kind of funny because it was like, it just, the way it cut was weird. I was like, did you not? Or did you? I assume you
So
did, but did you not?
I was reading people's reviews and comments on it,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently there are some people who hated the cut you and I watched and were
No.
like, you need to watch the full uncut edition because it's so brutal and yada yada. And apparently that scene is significantly longer.
Okay.
To those people, maybe learn other movies to watch, because
Yeah,
I've
touch
never
grass.
I've never watched a woman's prison exploitation film.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now we have, which was
That's
weird.
what it was.
Yeah.
It was. It makes sense that there was no, because there was no natural cut point. It did feel kind of weirdly.
Yeah.
Oh, we just did this because we had to, kind of thing. But yeah, the whole movie is. Watching it, I felt kind of bad for the people making it. It took me out of the story in that sense. I was like, does this, and most of it I think is because it's not shot cinematography wise in the most normal way as far as nudity goes. Generally when you shoot nudity, it's, I don't know, more tasteful, I guess you would say, in the sense that you're not seeing actual vaginas and nearly buttholes and all the things. It's I don't know. There's angles that you do things at normally, and this doesn't do that. This is just like straight on.
Yeah,
Mostly.
it's just kind of there.
Mhm.
And then it has like, oh, see, you say you feel bad for them. I guess in a way I agree.
Well, it's hard to see it and think, well, this isn't a movie being made so that you can make a movie about a bunch of new chicks in jail. But
see, I think
say that,
that's
and then
exactly what it got made for. I think the writer and director were like, how can we see a bunch of new chicks and then we're going to get two of them to like have a les scene? That's what we're going to do. And we'll like get our jollies off to that. Yeah.
That's kind of what it seemed like. The IMDb comments or trivia or whatever that page is called says that the star, Kelly McCart, which is her first leading role, by the way, in her first feature film, which also seems kind of weird, or I don't know, potentially exploitative, whatever that word is. And she said that she was scared to do it for a lot of reasons. She has to fight in it. She has to be naked in it. She has to do all this stuff in it. But she also said that she was very comfortable with it and felt very empowered, that all the nudity was important. Or did not always see sexy nudity, but also
just normal nudity.
Normal life nudity that's not objectifying women's bodies. Although
the way the movie was shot, there was a lot that I was like, this is objectifying.
Yeah, it does seem that way for sure. Because I think that you can tell the same story with more implication and less overt, just showing kind of thing, and everything has still come across. Not to be super, whatever that word is, but it just comes across as far as maybe being more accessible to a wider audience so that they can actually see the movie and get the story, get the point that you're trying to come across. Which I don't know that this movie necessarily.
I don't think it really had one.
Because the story is really just this girl has a shitty time in prison and then gets out, like forces her way out with a riot, I guess, a small little riot.
Worst riot ever.
Yeah.
She also goes to jail for possibly the worst assault I've ever seen. And when I say the worst assault, it wasn't brutal. It's not even bloody. She defends herself, and it's one hit, and then she's arrested.
Yeah. Which I got the impression that's because the girl that was bullying her was like upper class and also local, like native to whatever that country is, Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And so if she's like more rich in she's more influential or whatever, and she's like, oh, you should punch me, yada, yada. even though they literally posted online their bullying of her and spitting on her and hitting of her, and they put it on social media. And so it's like, yeah, that seems defensible as self-defense.
Right.
But then you find out later that this girl, the white girl, is also, her dad is also rich, and the guards are trying to basically blackmail her.
I thought it was her
dad.
uncle.
Is it her uncle? I thought that the lead lady, the torture lady, the mean lady, said it was her dad, which I thought was weird because uncle is definitely her
guardian,
caretaker.
Right?
Yeah. Well, he's the guy that she's living with in this country, but maybe her dad's too busy to be around.
Yeah.
Not that we're going to watch it again to find out. But yeah, interestingly, the guy that plays her uncle, who's like a drunk and not very nice person, seems like that's the vibe, is the writer-director of the movie, Jared Cohn.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And his IMDb looks pretty colorful. You said that seems like the kind of movie that someone would make just to get their jollies. A lot of the movies that he makes is in that vein, for sure.
Yeah, looking at the list right now, I knew I was in a little bit of trouble, so I didn't watch it in the order that we picked them. I just kind of
me neither.
Went with whatever was there. So I watched this one immediately after watching probably the most notorious one on this list of Alabama Sasquatch.
Yeah.
So this one started, and I wasn't on IMDb yet. She gets arrested. She's going in jail, and then things started. I started getting that, like, they did the thing where they're like, hey, you have to strip so that we can give you the clothes. And I was like, this, like, it's a prison movie, so that, like, I'm used to seeing that, and like in Shawshank.
I've seen that with, Shawshank. Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen that with men's prisons.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, but there was something about it that I was like, I think this movie's gonna be trouble. And so I went on IMDb and immediately was like, oh no, what is Jake making me watch? And then I looked at the movies.
I didn't choose it. For the record.
Fair. But I wanted to point the blame somewhere. And the internet. I blame the internet.
There you go.
But you know how it gives you the list of movies similar to this, and just scrolling through the list of similar films, all I kept thinking was oh no. And then I would look back at the screen and I was like, yep, this is exactly what I thought it was going to end up being.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some other notorious movies from this director's filmography. By the way, a lot of the movie. He's made a lot of movies. How many is this? This is a lot of movies. I've been scrolling. 61 previous films. A lot of 1.8s, 2.7, 2.2, 3.1, 2.4. Really not great. And there are also movies called Jailbait, Bikini Spring Break, Evil Nanny, After School Special, which is just a girl in a school uniform, Halloween Pussy Trap Kill Kill, which I kind of get that one. That's kind of more like a, what were those exploitation movies from the 70s? But anyway, that's the vibe. And yeah, not a great movie.
Nope. Nope. It really wasn't.
Technically not terrible, but again, there wasn't a reason to put me through watching it. There wasn't a story. The girl's acting was fine, although there was just a lot of forced narrative, forced montage of her working out to try to fight.
I was really kind of rooting for her post this movie to be maybe she can get out of this style of films and get into something a little more mainstream, something a little more rewarding. I was like, I know that she's all, I want to show full frontal nudity. Netflix seems to want to do that with a bunch of stuff, so maybe she'll find something there. But just to see her career actually grow, and not get stuck in these kinds of movies. But yeah,
not get spit out the other side, I think you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one point where I was like, okay, I stopped giving this movie any more grace, and in that regard, because I was like, it's a prison movie. There has to be a point. It's just not just exploitative and all that stuff. And then it was the scene where she's like training for the big fight coming up, and all of the like things she does, the boxing and the push-ups and the lifting and the all this other stuff, like so that get better was at normal speed. And then the jump rope scene was in slow motion. And I was like, okay, I totally cannot forgive this movie anymore.
Worst montage decision ever.
Yeah. It's like, this is clearly a braless jump rope scene in slow motion. Anyway. Locked Up, 2017.
Yeah.
Don't bother. But next movie, You Might As Well Live from 2009, which is, hold on, I'll tell you all about it. You Might Be the Killer. Nope. You Might As Well Live is a comedy, R-rated comedy. It's streaming a lot of places. You can rent it for like $2 on YouTube and Google Play right now. I want to say it was on Amazon, but maybe not.
Can't remember. I thought the opening scene was hilarious. Him like wanting to commit suicide on the bridge. But what made me laugh so hard was him putting the goggles on right before he jumps.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was like, if the movie keeps up this, I'm going to be the happiest dude watching this movie. And then it didn't. And I was not the happiest dude during the movie.
Oh, really?
I didn't hate it, but there was like, I don't know. After that, it just felt like everything they were trying too hard to be like edgy comedy. The child porn joke burned me out so early. And it is an hour and a half of just that joke. I was burned out on it like the third time they made it, which is 5 minutes into the movie. Yeah, it was a little like, all right. Kind of done with this joke. I didn't hate it, though. I don't think it was terrible. I think it should have been funnier. And I think, honestly, if they had only left that style of joke the first couple times and then the rest of the humor, I think it would have been really funny. But for me, it just like that joke seemed to be their go-to, where the other stuff I think could have been way funnier without it. Yeah. But I didn't hate this one.
Sure, that's fair. Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny overall. I was definitely more impressed than I thought I would be.
Yeah.
There was a lot of points where I was a little hesitant. I was like, and that's the problem with a lot of these movies, especially after you watch one, like the one we just talked about, or like Alabama Sasquatch, that you're like, how far is this going to go? Because I'm not totally aware or on board with it going wherever.
Right.
And this movie didn't go as like, it didn't cross the line for me to a place where I was like, I'm done with it. Yeah. There's a lot of points where it could have, but I thought it did a decent job of towing the line of like still keeping it funny and then moving on. And it does that hippie girl with the boyfriend, that his friend, that they do like a nude sweat lodge hallucinogenic trip thing going on. And I thought it was kind of funny that the only nudity in that scene is Dick's, and she is like just shot from the shoulders up the whole time, which I was like, okay, well, this is better. And then using that joke of, well, this poor guy, what's his name? Something Mutt, Roger Mutt or something. He's just Robert Mutt. He's shit on this whole movie as far as
entire movie.
And accidentally just being misunderstood or being in awkward situations or being an awkward guy. But yeah, he was always just like a guy with terrible luck. And so I laughed at the dick joke where they end up both being naked and his friend has a really big dick and he has a very small dick. And it's just like the smallest little throwaway thing, but then they move on. And then I got a little nervous with the transvestite, the trainee named Dixie.
Yeah.
Which Dixie as a giveaway name is pretty funny. But I was like, what is this? How far is this going to go? And then, because at first I was like, is this going to be like a love story that he's going to not know what's going on?
Right. I thought it was going that way. And then I also got a little concerned because I'm with you. The movie had a lot of moments where I was like, I agree with both of yours. And then I got really concerned when they brought on the love interest, I guess, the actual love interest, the handicapped woman.
Yeah. Handy capable, basically in a coma vegetable lady.
Yeah. I got worried with that too. Like, man.
But I thought it was funny. I thought that the situations that he's in and how he gets in them was pretty funny. And he's an innocent enough character that you don't apply any ill will towards him in those situations, really. He seems like a guy that should have a better time of things and then just is for some reason not, which is kind of funny. It also has a phenomenal cameo from Michael Madsen.
I couldn't believe it was him. I was like, what?
Yeah. And it has like a legitimate role. It's not like a one scene thing.
Yeah, no, he's reoccurring throughout the movie.
An important part of the story, pretty much.
I like that. My favorite thing about his cameo is he's only a local legend that no one knows except like the main character who's obsessed with him and his one card, and everyone's like, who cares?
It's like a non-professional or semi-professional baseball team. And he's just like a super fan about it, of not just that team, but this specific player in general. And then they end up kind of being friends.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of being family.
Kind of being family.
As he dates and marries his handy-capable daughter. So yeah, I thought as far as a movie that has something to do and something to say and a legitimate story and more good jokes than not, I felt. I liked it overall.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's fantastic, and I wouldn't recommend it to a lot of people because there is a lot of weird stuff in it. An orgy house, for example.
Yeah. That gets there are a few moments I was like, man, come on.
The neighbor trying to chemically castrate him because he thinks he's a pervert.
Even though he's the actual.
Yeah, that's true. He's projecting for sure.
It's got a 5.8 on IMDb, or 5.4. Sorry, 5.4.
Okay.
Do you think it's fair, low, or would you go lower? Would you go higher?
I would say as a general rating, that's fair. Because I think some people will say it's a lot lower, and some people will say it's quite a bit higher. I could see some people saying like, that was fantastic, that was original and different and silly and fun, and they would give it like a high 6 maybe. And then I would see a lot of people saying this movie is awful and not because a lot of people don't like dark comedies. A lot of people don't like indie movies in general, and so I could see a lot of people rating it lower than that. But I think as an entry point, 5.4 sounds fine to me. What do you think?
I agree with it. I think the movie as a whole is a 5.4. I think the opening scene alone could be like a 5.6. I don't know what it was, but
I expected you to say something way higher.
No.
Like that scene would be like a 7, and I wish the whole movie did the whole thing.
I can't explain it, but when he put the goggles on, dude, I lost it. I was like, this potentially could be gold. It wasn't, but that scene is. So I really like that scene.
Yeah,
and it's so short. It like it's so quick.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So that's You Might As Well Live. I don't even know how to talk about the next movie. The Witches from 1967.
What a confusing movie.
I didn't know. Okay, so this is not The Witches from 1990 with like Angelica Houston and Rowan Atkinson and all of that.
No,
this is not the 20.
Film.
Yeah, it's an Italian film.
A foreign anthology film.
A foreign anthology film about women, 5 short stories loosely dealing with the roles of women in society, So I didn't know if this was weird because Italians are weird. I didn't know if it was weird because the 60s are weird or if just feminists are weird. Or maybe all three because this movie is weird.
It's so weird.
Also, Clint Eastwood is in this movie.
And Clint Eastwood shows up. Yes, folks, Clint Eastwood shows up.
I had the thing that you had with Michael Madsen. I was like, is that the real Clint Eastwood or is it just a handsome man? I'm not totally sure until I was reading IMDb, and apparently Clint Eastwood hates this movie and refuses to watch it. I read that it was never released outside Europe, and United Artists actually bought it when Clint Eastwood's career started taking off and they basically locked it up, wouldn't release it in theaters so that nobody would see it.
Ever see it. And then we watched
because
it.
He asked them to. He requested that they prevent anyone from finding this movie.
And then
which is kind of funny. Yeah. I don't know why you would, other than like he's not bad in it. And it's hard to, the reason I say it's hard to talk about this movie is because I'm not entirely sure what happens or what's going on.
Well, that's because it's different stories. So the movie as a whole does
but
not
you would expect each story to have a point or a thing.
Right. And they really don't.
Doing.
Well, I mean, they kind of have a theme. The first one is the actress going to the house party where the host is absolutely obsessed with her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's having an affair with the host's husband or not, or maybe with another dude. But they never actually do anything. I don't know. It's weird. She keeps fainting, and they make fun of her makeup.
And her whole outfit.
And the whole outfit. The second story...
Well, let's just focus on the first story, because there's one unpacked a little bit. We'll go through all of them.
I have two main things about that first story.
Okay,
but you go ahead and say what you wanted first.
Well, I was just going to say that the thing that it seems like it's trying to do or say is because it ends up with her being essentially a zombie. She's just kind of re-put in all of her fancy clothes and taken out to a helicopter, and she's not Weekend at Bernie's, but she's close to it. She's catatonic or drugged or something. And so going into this knowing it's a movie about women and their roles in society, it seems like it's that she's being forced to perform or whatever. But the whole rest of the segment leading up to that didn't really get me there, because it is just her fainting with headaches or
like the entire time.
Or being in a room with a married guy and another guy, and they're trying to like silently figure out who's going to have sex with her, but nobody does. But the guy's wife knows that he wants to. There's a lot of stuff going on. So I didn't really get why it was happening, but I guess the point of it is that she's desirable, and that's her purpose, is to be desirable. So all she has to do is stay dressed well and stay awake, semi-awake.
I have no clue.
Okay, what are your two things about this movie?
See, I thought it was like I didn't really get like the zombie aspect. I definitely got the idea of like, I thought, oh, this could be interesting if she's trying to have a normal weekend without the glitz and glam, but then she's being paraded with the expectation of glitz and glam. I was like, that could be an interesting thing of like women abusing women or trying to live vicariously through each other that way, or like that fantasy kind of aspect. I thought that could be interesting.
Yeah. She does come to the party as like a famous person, like the most famous person there, and then they like make her perform. I thought she was a singer, and she checks the piano, makes the guy like do the piano check, and then they play a song. She doesn't sing at all. She just kind of dances a little bit. So I don't know why she's famous. Real quick.
I found myself with a lot of things throughout all the different stories where I was like, this must be an Italian thing. Like, I'm not quite cultural. Sure what's going on. But that's what I thought that first story was going to be. And then it ended up just being her fainting every 2.5 minutes. And I was really shocked by, this isn't one of my main points, but it was like a weird um, observation or a dumb guy moment. I think it's more of a dumb guy moment. So they do that close up where all the women are like huddled around her after she has fainted. And if I remember right, they're removing like the makeup accessories. So the wig comes off. They take like the tape,
hairnet clips.
thing. Yeah. But the one that like shocked me was they perfectly pull off her eyelashes, like the fake ones. And I found myself being like, fake eyelashes have been around since the 60s. It's like, when did that come out?
They've been around since the dawn of man.
I was like, wow. And then my next observation on that was like, they did that really smooth. Like, that was such a like, rip, done. And I thought, if I tried to do that, I probably would have been blind because I'd like poke her in the eye by accident, or I'd get it stuck on the side of her face somehow. I don't know. Anyways, my 2 points. First, when it started, I was like, the music's kind of catchy. Like, this is kind of fun. This is like instant 60s. Like, it kind of reminded me of, not really, but just because it's the same decade, but like the Pink Panther movies, the original couple. I was like, ooh, this could be like this might be a fun, bouncy movie. Of course, then they started speaking in Italian, and I was like, what? What's going on here? But then the next one, I couldn't, like, it pulled me out of the first short, because I really only do it in the first one. How many shots, or like that push-in style shot for your close-up, do you need in a 20-minute segment? And it was like never at an appropriate time. It was every time someone walked into a room or looked towards the camera, it was like that quick, oh yeah. It was like they just realized that's what the zoom is, and they were just practicing.
It'll get your attention. Yeah.
But
it felt kind of soap opera-y, I guess.
It's like, how many times do you need this? I don't understand it.
The second segment was the injured guy, right?
The car.
And that one, the car, where, so I'm reading through just to refresh my memory of this summary, and it says it's called Civic Sense, and it's about an attentive, thoughtful woman who offers to transport an injured man to the first aid station in her car. That's not what it's about, because she's not attentive or thoughtful. She lets an injured man into her car, but does not help him or care about him at all, what I got out of it.
At all.
Yeah.
I was like...
He's like, please, madam, I am bleeding everywhere, and I would really like to go to the hospital. And she drives past it. He's like, okay, that's fine. I'll go to the next hospital, please.
Drives past that one.
I don't know why he's in her car. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know why she's...
It was like, the shortest
it's weird to put a girl...
too.
It was really short, and it didn't really resolve in any way other than she just kept driving him. But,
and then she stops. She's like, okay, bye. And then like goes to a hotel or goes to the apartment, whatever it is. And
I was like, I feel like if you're going to make a movie about women's role in society, if it's going to be, I assume, a feminist movie, I don't know, maybe not, but it felt very weird to me to make this segment and write it and perform this whole segment. And for me as the audience to come away and going like, she's a bitch. What's going on with this?
Like, she just loves that dude to die in the field.
There's no explanation about why she would behave that way. And I don't think that's helpful.
She just speeds through the city, and you think that she's going to the hospital because she comes up to the accident and she's like, I can go. I'll take him. Because they can't get the ambulance or something. And, or maybe there's always an ambulance. I don't know.
It's Italy.
Yeah. But yeah, I was shocked at how short it was. And when it ended, I was like you, Jake, where I was like, what was the point?
Yeah.
I'm like, so, what?
Just make her something. Make her a woman with a vendetta who's going around and trying to screw up the lives of other like men for some reason.
For some reason. Or
like if you actively took him further away from a hospital than he was in the center of the city, so there has to be a reason you would do that.
Be a reason. Yeah. Or like maybe he wronged her.
In a past life. I don't know anything.
I know nothing about this one except she's like, she starts off really friendly and then you're like, she just left this dude to die. Maybe that was the point. Maybe this one is the like anti-feminist or anti-woman short.
About how women can't drive?
Whoa.
I didn't. The movie did it.
Whoa.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying women are very good drivers and also very good at taking care of people around them.
Are you mansplaining women being good at things, Jake?
No, I'm saying that the movie did not do a good job of accurately depicting how women generally are, which is good at driving, good enough at driving, and also and also very good at taking care of people, very loving and kind and compassionate, and just generally good people in general. Not like this lady, whatever her problem was.
True.
But also, I give her the grace to say she probably had a problem. Otherwise, why would someone do that? But they didn't put it in the movie, and that's the filmmaker's fault.
That is the filmmaker's fault. Blame them. Ah.
Yeah. Next segment is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
It was at this point where I was like, are we going like spiraling downwards in this movie? Is it going to get worse and worse and worse?
It kind of
because it kind of, well, I don't know. I felt like this was the low point in the movie because I was like, I don't know.
This is the, well, I don't know. There's a, like the dream sequence, one of them in the Clint Eastwood one. I would say that's the low point, but
sure.
This one is,
but the third one,
awkward.
I think the segment's called The Earth Scene from the Moon, and it's about a recently widowed aging father and his son wandering Rome's cobbled streets in search of an ideal wife for the father and a caring mother for the son. You should know if you've not seen this movie. The son is definitely at least 35 years old, but in hair and makeup as if he's 12, right? That's
and it's
what you
potentially
got, right?
the worst wig ever used on film.
Yeah. And like
of
weird
course, you think
freckles.
Yeah. And you think it's the worst.
There's a worse wig.
Wig or hairpiece that you've seen on film, but then you see the dad and the dad's bald cap with the fake wig hair on the sides. So you can see the line because they didn't use makeup on him or something.
Right. Picture a worse version of Larry from the Stooges.
Right.
That's
whereas Larry's
looks.
was like, that was his hair. This is bad.
Yeah.
I will say, maybe because he just looks so dumb, but every time the dad would get excited when he would see a woman and he'd like fix his eyebrows or puff up his hair or whatever, and his eyes would get huge. His face made me laugh every time.
Yeah.
Where they lost me was like the weird, I mean, it's a little bit later, but the weird ghost lady thing, or like, is she even human throughout the...
Right. Which you don't really know because they find her at a grave, just, I guess, praying, but she's also mute.
Yeah, she's like silent the whole time.
Yeah, which seemed like a definite choice as far as telling a story about, you know, how women are in society. But yeah, then they get married and they seem to have a nice time at first. There's dancing and stuff in their weird house. How would you describe that house? It's like it's like Pee-wee's Playhouse.
It's like an outhouse with an extra room.
But on the inside, that whole sequence where it's like all colorful and stuff, it was like Pee-wee's Funhouse kind of.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I still get stuck on how the whole time you're like, I'm not quite sure where this is gonna go or what's actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kills herself, and you're like, what?
Yeah. You're like, what? Why were you unhappy? When were you unhappy? And yeah, and it seemed very, I don't know. I was still thrown off by the fact that she had green hair. It seemed
Oh
green
yeah,
to me.
there is that.
But it's hard to tell anybody's hair besides that little man boy with the bright red hair. But yeah, she gets very upset and throws herself off a building.
Well, doesn't she also
And then
slip on the banana peel too?
yeah, I
Like,
forgot there was an actual banana peel in the movie.
yeah, so she goes up to kill herself, and no one really does a whole lot to stop her. They like try to pantomime to her,
Mm-hmm.
which
And
I
then the
thought
whole
was a
crowd gathers.
yeah. And then
And I got
there's
the impression that the father and son are not as concerned for her and more concerned with performing their concern for the
Yeah.
crowd. Is that how you took them?
sure.
Which I get, at least as far as the story goes.
I was also kind of distracted by the investigating and wandering couple who are responsible for the banana peel.
Yeah.
Because they do a couple of those shots of them like climbing up, and they like seem to do it perfectly fine, but it's like the incline. So it's very 60s, very like,
Yeah.
we'll shoot you walking on a flat surface, but we're going to angle it so it looks like you're not. It's that
Right.
kind of thing. But yeah, there's an actual banana peel gag in the movie, which
Yeah.
bold choice. Bold choice.
Right.
Something
And,
should stay in a cartoon. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing felt very cartoonish for a live action sketch. I guess I call it a sketch. I don't know what it is. But yeah, then she comes back to life, question mark, and she comes to their house and haunts them?
But
I
they're
don't know why
like in
she's there.
love that she haunts them.
Yeah. They're glad that she's back, I guess, because they loved her so much. And she shouldn't have taken
It's a very
her life.
strange one.
Yeah. So I don't know how that goes. And then the fourth one, the girl from Sicily is about a tragic tale of seduction and typical Sicilian revenge awaits. I don't remember that one at all.
I don't remember that one at all. I was hoping that you did. I was like, I'm looking at the stills of it, and I was like, did my brain cut this one out? Like, I don't remember this one at all.
Yeah. I don't think that I fell asleep or missed anything, but I'm trying to find the stills on IMDb to see it.
That's what I'm looking at. So it's got like
Clint Eastwood. Oh, yeah, because it was like kind of a semi-mob clip where I don't know where that little child with the Fu Manchu comes from, but there's so many weird stills. Just go to IMDb and scroll through the pictures for the witches from 1967. You'll get an idea. Oh yeah, there's a child with a Fu Manchu. Check it out. Is it like a chubby little?
Did I miss that?
He's not super little. I don't know where in the movie it happens, but I'm looking at a picture on IMDb for it. It was like an Italian mob story, but I don't really remember what it was about or why it was happening. So we can move on. I worry
I
that
like
this
that
entire
neither of
episode
us
is not
remember
interesting.
that one. I'm just being like, wait.
Yeah. But the last one was the one that you talked about, and it's the one that has Clint Eastwood, and so it's probably the one that most people care about talking about. And it's really just about this rude wife. This is gonna come across like terrible that I don't like women, but she's very rude, and he doesn't really do anything wrong. If from my perspective, that he's tired and wants to falls asleep in the chair, and she gets pissed about it. And then she's like, oh, I have to sweep up and I have to do all this stuff, and he's not doing anything. You don't have to sweep up. He didn't ask you or tell you to sweep up. You just are doing the things that you want to do. while he tries to sit down after working all day.
See, I actually agree with you on this one because I thought, well, he's not really that big of a jerk. I mean, I guess he could definitely be more attentive. I will say him falling asleep when they're like making their sexy plans, right? Like that's kind of
Yeah,
not a cool thing. Like bad move, dude.
sure.
That's
Sure.
rough. But she does spend the entire segment fantasizing herself in like various I guess goddess roles,
Mm-hmm.
and then killing him.
Yeah.
So that's like her whole fantasy during the whole thing. And he's like, I'm tired. Like, I love you. I'm just really tired. And she's like, I'll seduce you. And he's like, you are hot. And then he falls asleep. And she's like, I fantasize about murdering you and sleeping with other women or other men and showing my body off to other men for you to kill yourself too. And it's weird. It's very weird to me.
Yeah. Weird in a, like we talked about, very Italian. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why this is happening way. Yeah, and it was a very 60s editing on all of those dream sequences that I like it. You kind of alluded to it. I did start falling out of interest with it. I'm glad it was the last one in the overall journey. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the outfits. Sorry, I'm like scrolling through the stills and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot just how, I don't know what's weirder, the segments and the stories themselves or the costume decisions that they made for this actress. Cause it's like the same actress and all like throughout. She's the only continual thread throughout the whole thing.
It took me longer than I would care to admit to realize that, honestly. I was like, she looks familiar. Is
well,
that
it probably
the
doesn't help
same
that they put her in
leading
the worst costumes ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
I the Clint Eastwood one, I was like, I think the reason he probably made sure no one would watch this movie ever. One, he's only in it for the 10-minute or 15-minute segment that the last one is. So he was probably like, no one should suffer all of this just to see a weird segment that he probably was forced to do.
Yeah. Some weird contractual obligation.
Yeah. Although it was funny seeing him in this kind of role and knowing that it's like, it's Clint Eastwood. It's, like right after this or right around this is we're getting the Man with No Name series, we're getting the Spaghettis. Yeah. So that's
I had
funny.
A feeling, I wonder how much of the Italian influence of spaghetti westerns applies to this Italian movie, him being in it. That seems like there's definitely overlap there.
Yeah, I would assume it was a contractual thing that he had to appear in this. Yeah. The Witches was weird. I don't really have an opinion on it because it was such a bizarre thing. And I think there was a few factors, like not knowing it was foreign, not knowing it was an anthology film, not knowing anyone in the cast, not knowing the time period and all that. I don't know. There was a lot to it that like I just couldn't get into a lot of it. I didn't hate it. I just kind of thought like, what is this?
How do you feel about anthology films in general?
I'm off and on
really
with
talked about them.
I'm off and on with them. Like, I think my favorite one is Trick or Treat. That one's a blast. I think they work best when they're all like actually connected. I think that's when it works the best. I'm drawing a giant blank on all the other anthology films that I've ever watched.
VHS series.
Oh, the VHS movies suck.
I can't think of any that aren't horror though, honestly.
No, there's one. I wasn't a fan of it. So maybe I'm not a big fan of anthology films. It's called like 4 Rooms or something like that. It's back in the 90s. Hold on.
Is that the Quentin Tarantino written one?
He did one of the segments in it.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
4 Rooms. Now, I haven't watched it since high school, so maybe my opinion would be different. not being a teenage boy.
Sure.
But I remember not liking it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't mind anthology films as long as it's like essentially a series of short films.
Right.
And to be a short film, you really have to have still the same structure of a real movie, which is a beginning, middle, and end, and a plot or a point to your movie. And the thing about watching The Witches is I realized just watching moving images is not enough for it to be a movie for me. That there wasn't enough of a point in any of it for me to really be like, this is a movie that I will qualify as a movie.
Right. They consider Sin City an anthology movie. Would you?
No. Because I mean, maybe the recut version where it's each individual story in a continuous segment, but not as it's theatrically released where they're all interspliced with each other. It's one story with a bunch of different perspectives.
Ballad of Buster Scruggs, that was actually entertaining. That that might go down as the last good Coen brother movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Creepshow is fun, so I think you're nailing it with the horror movie. Coffee and Cigarettes. I don't remember it, but I remember liking it.
Never heard of it.
Movie 43, All Hallows Eve. I liked All Hallows Eve. Fun. I know you really liked Movie 43.
It's more fun than anybody gives it credit for.
Huh. Yeah, maybe I haven't watched... Oh, Fantasia's good.
I wouldn't have even thought of that as being an anthology movie, but I guess I get it.
It's listed as it, so I'm just kind of going with that. But, okay, so I guess I'm kind of off and on. I don't know.
That's fair.
The best one is Trick or Treat, which, hey, it's Halloween time. Go watch that because it's awesome.
Right, exactly. Okay, next one we watched Yolanda, The Secret of the Black Rose, which is a 2000s animated movie, originally Spanish.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure about the origins of it's like Spain Spanish or
there was like nothing to learn about it. Did you notice that when you looked it up? There was
IMDb doesn't have anything.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks when your primary source is like, we got nothing. You be the first one to comment, and you're like, no.
Right. I thought when I was starting to watch it, I was like, this has to be a TV show that they just like put a bunch of episodes back to back into a movie. But I don't know. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what it is.
I thought the same thing. I was like, this reminds me of like Hanna-Barbera or something like that. Like,
yeah.
But from Spain.
It feels like a Saturday morning cartoon that if I was from Spain and if I don't know, liked pirates or if I was an adventurous girl or whatever, that would be like, this show is awesome or this movie is awesome. And you could still be that person if you grew up in the 90s or early 2000s and you saw this.
Yeah.
Because I think we all had those weird movies that we just had on VHS or whatever, DVD or whatever. And you're like, I don't know where it came from. And I don't know that anybody in the world has ever heard of this movie. I don't know how we have it or what, but you have it. And it's a movie you watched a lot as a kid.
Yeah. I need to find out from my parents. They might still have it. It was this is so weird. It just dawned on me. It was an anthology. It was a collection of shorts. It was a Christmas VHS that I had. It had a whole bunch of Christmas shorts, a lot.
I had a couple tapes like that too.
And none of them were like mainstream. They weren't part of the normal, nothing to do with Peanuts, nothing to do with the, oh my gosh, the stop motion ones.
Like stop motion. Yeah.
Nothing to do with that. It was just, there was like, it had a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer short. And then there was like a toy shop one that was weird and creepy, but not.
I hope someone out there has seen this and knows what you're talking about.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna find it. I gotta ask my parents too if they still have it. But I used to watch that thing constantly. No idea where it came from. No idea why it ever got purchased. Nothing. I bet it was like a $2 VHS that my mom found at like a garage sale one time. I don't know.
Probably. Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah. So Yolanda, I didn't mind watching it. It felt very, I don't know, maybe just young, I guess you could say. And also maybe there's elements of it being foreign that I'm not familiar with foreign animation movies in general. But the funniest thing to me is that so many times during the course of the story, they'll introduce a conflict or a problem, and they're like, oh no, we need to get this thing, or we need to figure out how to do this thing. And then 5 seconds later, it would resolve itself without anybody doing anything. It'd be like, oh, there's the ship that we've been looking for. Or, oh, this is my uncle who just came to rescue us, or whatever. It's just the funniest thing.
you're so gracious saying 5 seconds, because there was like a conflict that it was same sentence that it was solved, and they definitely like to what was repeat what was the name? It was
The Black Corsair.
Corsair. Everything was the Corsair. Everything was the Corsair. It was
Daughter
like,
of the Black Corsair.
I think the funniest one to me was the when she's dressed like a boy and they're like, it's a beautiful blonde woman running around with piercing eyes. And they show her in cartoon form dressed as a boy, and you're like,
Yeah.
she is
She's
not
like-
dressed as a boy. Like,
She's in like this pirate bar or whatever, trying to avoid being seen as this famous daughter of the Black Corsair. And yeah, she is the only young, hot, blonde like woman in this entire establishment. Like if you heard that, you'd be like that girl?
her?
Yeah. It was very, very funny.
Yeah, it was. I felt myself. I liked Yolanda.
Okay.
Because
I thought, yeah, there's nothing to not like about it.
Yeah, it totally reminded me of like cartoons, like you said, Saturday morning cartoons when I was a little kid, growing up in the 90s. It feels and looks like a 90s cartoon. So just that alone, I was like, and it's pirates, so every 10 seconds there's sword fighting of some sort. I mean, it gets resolved right away, and there's a really annoying little mouse or a hamster
Monkey thing?
like her little
Yeah, he's kind of like a gopher looking
or a
thing.
gopher. I don't know what animal it is, but it's kind of annoying, but it's that like annoying cute thing, so you forgive it.
Yeah.
So I was entertained just because this reminds me of little kid cartoons in the 90s. I did find myself thinking, man, if I showed my daughter this when she was like 9 or younger, we probably never would have stopped watching this movie.
Yeah.
Like
Completely.
this would have been on repeat constantly.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So I did not hate this one. I thought it was like, I'll probably never revisit it, but I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it did all the things that it needs to do to have a pirate adventure with this young woman. And yeah, I would see all kids of all ages, all types, boys and girls alike, enjoying the swashbuckling and the adventure and I guess there's jokes, but yeah, it's kind of a fun movie.
I guess there's jokes.
I mean, they're like kids' jokes.
I think at the time that I finally got around to watching Yolanda. It was kind of like also a little bit of a breath of fresh air because it was like not all of these movies were exactly what one would call appropriate or friendly or
Friendly. Yeah.
or well made or
Yeah, that's accurate. I just found the letterbox page for Yolanda, the Secret of the Black Rose.
Did you?
And yeah, there's someone that was like, I had this movie on DVD.
It's kind of cool.
And yeah, so I think we watched it. I assume you watched it in English. I did as well. The whole thing was free on YouTube. You could watch it on Tubi for free, but they don't seem to do subtitles, or at least it wasn't burned into the video that they had. I couldn't figure out how to turn it on. Maybe I haven't used Tubi enough, but it was just in Spanish and I could not understand what was going on. So if you like Spanish or you know how to understand it, feel free to watch it for free on Tubi. One person was like, Yolanda was my first crush at 2 years old, so I'll defend this not very good movie with my body, mind, and soul. Amazing. Yeah, I could see that completely.
Love it. I respect that.
Yeah, I have some
that.
of those. Okay, so you want to get into it? Here we go.
Oh, it's that time, huh?
It's that time. The movie that we were most excited about of all the movies that we drew through the roulette wheel spinning, Alabama Sasquatch, which, great title, great poster. The poster is by far the best thing about this movie. The description is misleading to start.
That's putting it nicely.
So after having seen the film, if you would call it that, when you reread the description, which says, when Nazis, Sasquatches, and a family of psychotic cannibal hillbillies threaten to ruin a hillbilly family reunion, all hell breaks loose in Grass County, I don't know that any of that happens. There's a woman in a Nazi outfit.
Yep.
But is she a Nazi? Do they do anything to establish why there are Nazis?
I think
that she has Nazi motivations?
I don't think it worries too much. I can't believe it has a 5.7.
No, this is a 2.3 movie, I would say.
Oh my gosh. 2.3.
The thing about...
You are so kind and so gracious.
The thing about Alabama Sasquatch is that the people making it have never made a movie, may have never seen a movie before.
They may have been learning what a video camera was or is.
Yes. This is someone's very first video camera. I say that because this is the second movie of this filmmaker. The first one's called Weed Wolf from 1 year prior, and has a 4.5 on IMDb.
I can only imagine the content that's in that one.
Yeah. The same thing, just with werewolves, I think, and marijuana.
Which is the same thing.
The thing that blew my mind. So there's a lot to get into and I'm trying to not bounce around too much. The thing that was the most normal thing about this movie, but also the most annoying thing about this movie, is that, when you have an established shot of a character as they're talking, and then you cut away to the other character, and then you cut back to the first character, generally the audience and the camera are in the same position that you left, and so nothing has changed. You're just going easily back and forth, and your eyes transition well. That doesn't happen a single time in this movie. Every time you cut back to another character, the camera is slightly moved over, slightly lower, slightly higher, slightly pushed in. It's like you filmed it at a different day, a different hour for every single shot of the movie. Every single sequence is constantly... They don't own a tripod. I don't know what's going on. It's just the weirdest thing. So that's the most normal thing.
No one set markers down on the ground for anyone to be hitting.
Like, oh, we need to remember where we were pointing the camera when we come back to point it at this other person again. Or we don't have two cameras, one to shoot this guy and one to shoot that guy. No, definitely not that. So I kind of mentioned it at the beginning, last episode when I teased what we're doing next. The opening of this movie, I was very nervous about.
I thought it was a joke. Well, okay, I
thought that I downloaded the wrong movie and I sent you legitimate porn. Because,
I thought you did too. I was
because the movie opens and it's like a red band X-rated,
which I thought was a joke. I thought it was
a joke too. I was like, oh, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, like this will be funny.
Because it says kind of jokey things. It says adult audiences only, graphic sex, violence, big STDs, drug usage, Sasquatch dingling, and a bunch of other nasty shit. And I was like, okay, sure, that sounds like a joke. It's not a joke. It's a legitimate warning because the next scene is exactly what they warned you about.
Yep.
Where there is a poor young woman naked in the shower and not tastefully filmed at all. And also a Sasquatch ejaculating on her. And I don't know where they got this Sasquatch wiener or how they formed it. and how they made it function, but it is in the film. And it was at the point where I was like, I probably sent you the wrong thing because this is definitely not what we should be watching or what was spun for a legitimate movie.
Right. Yeah. So,
and then it turns out that is the movie.
That is the movie. And
but
it
at least
actually gets worse. It gets so bad that there were times where I was like, the movie has to be almost over. Like, this has to be finishing. And I would check the time, like shake the mouse to check how much time is left on it. And it'd be like, it's an hour and a half movie. And every time I did that, it seemed like I still had like an hour or 40 minutes left every time that I shook it. And it was like, how is there more?
It's like it's regenerating itself as it goes along.
The Nazi girl died. One conflict solved. What? So you've got, I think there's something about 2 different Sasquatches. One's white, one's not. I can't remember if one of them's bad. There's drug deals and a bunch of smoking weed. There's like a drug war, I think.
Yeah. It's so hard to understand anything that happens and also who any of the characters are because there's just zero establishing of anything in this movie.
And I don't know about you, but it's also hard to tell who anyone is or anything that's going on because the dialogue is so bad.
Yeah.
Quality wise. And bad.
I think the only person that I kind of got and liked was the vet, the black veteran guy.
Oh,
he was like, okay, this could be a main character, but then he's not really. He just kind of shows up once in a while.
See, it's got like, it has a fantastic poster. Look how cool that poster
is incredible.
And the description.
It just doesn't deliver on
so
that at
cool.
all.
But it might be one of the worst things I've ever watched. Yeah, I was really so I watched You Might As Well Live first. That was the very first one that I watched. And then I watched
it was mine too.
And then I watched Alabama Sasquatch because I was just too excited not to watch it. And I was genuinely worried. So the first title card, right, like the X-rated, I laughed because I was like, well, yeah, the movie's going to be a giant joke. Like, I'm going into this thinking it's going to be like Zombievers, which for long-time listeners, you know, I'm a big fan of Zombievers. So I was expecting that. And then it was like the naked chick in the shower. And I was like, well, this is not what is going on. And then you've got a Sasquatch coming in and shooting his load all over her. And I was like, I might turn this off. Like, and I might have to text Jake to be like, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't
maybe screen what you send me.
Right. I was going to be like, I'm not sure what your Google search is looking like. But
yeah,
we might not send this stuff to me. Thank you. Yeah, I was really, man, I don't know. I'm looking at like the whole list and I think I hated this movie the most. I could not believe how horrible it was.
Yeah.
And it just kept going.
There was just no redeeming value in it at all. There's not like there was, some decent jokes. No, there were no good jokes. Some decent scenes, some decent just like ideas of like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? No, none of that. None of that through the entire movie is actually worth watching.
I'm pretty positive that the weed that they smoke and the alcohol they drink during the movie was real. And I think every scene in this movie was a result of them smoking weed while trying to film this movie and just started putting their stoner ideas together to make an hour and 32-minute pile of dung. It was so bad. I couldn't believe this movie. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. I would definitely say do not even bother.
Yeah, please, guys, don't do it.
And I'm sorry that we found it
This is
and sorry realgood.com recommended it as a potential movie.
This
It
is
had
a rare
44 out of
moment
100.
where here at Movie Boners we issue an apology, but
yes,
today it's got to be done.
It had to happen.
We apologize for Alabama Sasquatch.
Yep. All right. Moving on.
Okay.
So who would you take to a deserted island, which is much more legitimate, is on Netflix of all things.
It is a fairly legitimate movie. It is.
Fairly legitimate, he says.
No, it is.
I think it's also from Spain.
Was it Spain or was it actually Mexico?
I don't know. I thought they were in Madrid. Yeah.
Madrid.
So it's in Spain.
So Spain.
So yeah, from 2019. This movie is not my kind of movie.
Mine either.
I will say up front. Mostly because I like movies. My whole thing about movies is I like spectacle. And it doesn't have to be big spectacle, but I want the movie to take me somewhere. That's why I like sci-fi so much.
I know.
But I don't mind a movie that's a quiet drama, but I want it to take me somewhere that I wouldn't normally go or anything like that. This movie, really nothing happens. It's about 4 people that live in an apartment together that are about to move out because they have other stuff going on.
Because life is like about to change for all of them.
It's about their last day together. And overall, nothing really happens other than they find out one of their friends is gay. And he's had a crush on his male roommate the entire time. Loves him.
Like more than a crush, like they've actually been having an affair. One girl loves the gay dude. He knows that she loves him, but he's strung her along. The girlfriend of the snobby dude who pretends to be straight, but he's actually having the affair. I guess she's hated by all the friends. I don't know. To me, like
you paid closer attention to this movie than I did.
I didn't like the movie, but I liked the concept. I thought this could be a really cool movie, or a cool idea where it's like their last night, obviously knowing without ever reading a full description. The moment I read, 4 friends spend their last night together in in their apartment, immediately I was like, oh, so conflict is going to happen. So there's going to be this is going to be a character film. And I like character dives. I like where it's super deep, where it can get crazy. So I was expecting that, and it does kind of do that. I guess my biggest disappointment in it is it doesn't actually build any character up. You're just kind of told here are these characters. The backstories don't ever actually happen except oh, they partied, and then the snobby dude gets high with a neighbor's wife, and you're like, is he hitting on her? Is she hitting on him? Are they
Yeah.
I was confused.
Have they had a thing? Are they gonna have a thing?
Yeah, I was confused on a bunch of stuff. I think it would have been really way more interesting to have the conflict of, or diving more into the conflict of the actual relationship and what does it mean for them to actually break up because they've been so intimate. I definitely could have done without the gay storyline. No offense. It's just, I'm like, all right, so there's your preaching moment. Of course you threw that in there. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
That's what it always feels like to me. It's always oh, have to do that because,
because it's Netflix.
Because it's Netflix. Because it's our current world where if you don't do that, how dare you? Anyways, and also most importantly, I think it would have worked way better if the characters were not so annoying.
Yeah.
They all bothered me so much. And they never, there was no resolution to any of it. I really did not like that.
Yeah, the no build up to the conflict and then no not really caring about any of the characters, I think was the censure for me of why it was so boring, because then we got through the conflict and got to the 5 years later or whatever it was, and we're like wrapping up, seeing where they are now, and I was just done. I was like,
You're like,
I don't
who cares?
care. It doesn't matter. Why are you showing me this?
Right.
And then also why you're showing me this isn't like wrapping anything up or making me realize that anybody grew or that what they went through mattered.
There's only one character that I would say learns anything or grows up. But I think it would have been, I also hated how obvious it was. Like how obvious when the conflict was going to come up.
Yeah.
You know, let's play a drunk game. Like, okay, someone's about to say something. I think it would have been much better had it just been like something in a normal conversation slips or, you know, like that kind of stuff. The movie's not great. I know, like looking at people seem to like it and then people seem to really hate it. And I think you and I are on the side of really hating it.
Yeah.
But it is
5.3 on IMDb.
Way better than Alabama Sasquatch. So there's that. But
that's true. I would watch this movie 100 times more just so I don't have to watch Alabama Sasquatch ever again.
If you want to see a movie where like conflict is written so well, and it's done in kind of like a dark comedy aspect, the movie only has one setting, and that's in the apartment. It's a comedy. It's called Carnage.
Okay.
It is about 4 parents.
Oh, yeah. With that one German guy.
Christoph Waltz, Kate Winslet is in it. I'm drawing a blank on the other two. Darn it.
It's the funny guy from Step Brothers that's not Will Ferrell.
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. Thank you. We got there.
But anyways, that movie has conflict, and it's done in a way like the tension builds with the comedy, and it's done so well. The writing is so great in that movie, and I think that's what I was hoping for in Who Would You Take to a Desert Island, and it just wasn't that. So not a big fan.
Plus, I like when movies have some sort of, whether it's a gimmick or it's a budgetary restriction, like we're only filming it in this one apartment and never leaving it kind of thing, which Carnage has. I kind of wish that this movie did that because it doesn't.
No.
Yeah, they go to the bar, they go to do other stuff. But if it's like just in the apartment or the roof or whatever, I would have been like a little bit more invested maybe, but
I was also trying to I think you'll appreciate this. I was also trying to figure out the layout of their apartment because it didn't seem right. I was trying to figure out where the rooms actually were.
Yeah.
Because the way that they would like cut through hallways or come in their front door, it just seemed like the Seinfeld apartment made more sense than this one to me. And then the next one that I was like, this really doesn't make sense is they all 4 are leaving the next morning, which implies that their lease is up. Everything's got to be done. Nothing is packed. Not a single box.
They have some boxes. But that one guy, the couple at the beginning, the one guy's like, I have a bunch of boxes, but yeah, they're not packed. They're not
one's
cleaned.
Packed.
They're not.
Instead, they're partying, and I'm like, anyone who has ever moved knows that you do not pack up a whole place in a day,
a morning,
or a morning. You don't do it, especially after you've gone partying. It just does not. Nope. I can suspend my belief with pretty much everything when it comes to Hollywood. You don't pack a whole apartment in a morning.
I imagine just like, I don't know, this is like a
you don't
very
have to
intense
defend
type
it,
A. No, I imagine like a very intense type A personality that's like trying to watch this movie and they're like, why are they not packing? They're running out of time. Like, you have to be out the door in the morning. What are you doing? You need to be packing.
Well, and
you need to be
they,
scrubbing your bathroom.
They do have that scene where, like, one of the girls is like, I'm going to start putting, taking care of, I'm going to pack. And you're like, finally, you have to. She's like, listens to her music. She pulls like 3 things out of her closet, looks at it, and just lays it down, which is another issue. Because it's like, you got to fold or roll. Like, you can't just... Like, and the hangers? Who packs with the hangers? I'm not type A person, but this is just a little... And then she abandons packing to go and party, and it's like, okay. We're making good choices now.
Well, they're young. They have a lot to learn.
That's true.
Okay, how about For Me and My Gal from 1943? I always love when old movies get picked, especially, obviously, ones we'd never seen before. And I also have never seen, shoot, I didn't write her name down.
Judy Garland.
Thank you, Judy Garland, in anything other than Wizard of Oz, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
So that was fun. I also don't know that much about vaudeville, although I've heard the word vaudeville a lot, and I know it was like a thing in a lot of movies and Bob Hope and all this stuff. Everybody's always talked about how great vaudeville was. So to see a movie about vaudeville performers and all that, I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
I thought this is a interesting idea.
And
the movie's from 1943, and it's also set during World War I, and I think that's interesting too. Go ahead.
I thought it was great. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah?
Yeah. The classic movie I thought was a really nice change of pace in this random list of 10. It was
necessary.
It's a very enjoyable movie. I thought the songs that are in it aren't like typical musical movie style. Like the songs are actually part of the interaction of the, like it's, they don't just break out into song for the sake of it. It's like it's a part of their performances on the stage or practicing. It's kind of like, White Christmas style, where every song is actually the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Or because they're performers, it makes sense that someone would start singing a little song.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was like, I mean, it wasn't amazing or anything, but I was like, this is a nice, like, it's a gentle film. I thought it was really cute. I liked their romance. I was really shocked that in 1943 they showed someone harming themselves to avoid being drafted. I thought that was a
bold choice. Yeah, I agree too. I was like, this is an interesting way to approach this movie, because I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah,
I didn't expect the whole, I guess, last half of the movie to turn the way that it did, because I was like, oh, it's a fun movie about these performers who are going to hit the big time, and then it turns into, no, World War I is here, and we now need to kind of start or do the early USO tour of going and performing and getting the morale up for the troops, and then also, do we get drafted? Do we enlist? Do we all that stuff? And what comes along with it if you don't? Everybody else sees you as a coward or whatever, and this guy's trying to propose to his girlfriend as they like hit the big time, and then doesn't or can't, basically, and then harms himself so it can't be drafted, or it's unclear, like, at first if he's doing it so that they can't get married, and then he's like, oh, it's a goof, and then it's kind of too late as it gets further along.
Right.
He can't take it back, and then everybody starts making assumptions about him, which is kind of interesting.
I thought it was I actually really enjoyed it. I really did. What about you?
I liked it quite a bit. Yeah, I think especially for any fans of musicals, it's one that you could check out. I think a lot of people who like musicals probably saw it earlier on, and they're like, oh yeah, that's one of my favorites that I go back to over and over again because I loved it forever. Apparently it was Gene Kelly's first movie that film debut that Judy Garland helped him get
I thought
the
that was
part.
the interesting one. It was Judy Garland got him the job,
Yeah.
and then they
So
ended
she,
up starring together in a handful of stuff.
yeah, it's crazy that she brought him into Hollywood and basically made, without her, we may not even have a Gene Kelly. That's kind of crazy.
Right? You're like, huh.
Yeah. A little bit of Hollywood trivia there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. And
Yeah.
it definitely was a breath of fresh air compared to some of the other things that we had
Right.
to
You're like,
watch.
oh, here we go.
And I think it's interesting to have to be in the midst of World War II and kind of being brought back to World War One and I don't know, the differences between those conflicts and the struggles with service and patriotism and things. I thought it did a good job of kind of touching a lot of things and also still delivering that, but also staying true to its main focus of a character story about this girl and her goals and her partner or performing beau lover.
Her bow.
Yeah, to put it into period
Yeah,
terms.
I thought it had a lot. I mean, it's a packed story.
Yeah.
But I thought it's just done really well. I was like, I think it was kind of cool to see the Hollywood spotlight in that time period and with that kind of like perception, those eyes. Not to say that it was like so innocent or just so sincere, but I think there was a bigger sincerity to it where like reaching the big time wasn't
Mm-hmm.
about the glam. It was about how do
Yeah.
we get the art to be as, widespread as possible and to just
Right.
share talent and just to have fun, and do this with teams and all that. I thought that it was just a cool take on the whole showbiz stuff. Yeah. I
Yeah,
liked it a
I
lot.
agree. I definitely agree. So what did you think about Poor Paul from
Oh my
2023? Free on Tubi and Fossum. You could also rent on Amazon Prime for $2.
I mean, it's better than Alabama Sasquatch.
That's just like our floor now. Is it better than Locked Up?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I would watch Poor Paul any day of the week over Locked Up.
There's nothing really like directly wrong or kind of would make you want to turn it off other than it doesn't go as
I think
maybe the places you want it to.
it drags on forever. It was another
It
one
does.
that I was like, are we still in this story? Like
there's a thing that happens sometimes, and I see this with some, particularly with independent stories that haven't figured out the writing or the pacing or the editing or whatever. And it's that you'll be starting a movie and the premise is set in the first few scenes. They're like, they make enough sense. You're like, okay, I'm on this ride. I understand where we're going. And then something will happen where it just stalls out.
yeah.
And you're like, we're still here. Like that happened with them at the hostel where he starts getting asked about, I don't know, the mafia guys show up and
where they get like
take them
kidnapped
and
or
stuff.
whatever, held
Yeah.
hostage.
I'm
Yeah.
like, you're still in this hostel or hotel or whatever it is, and nothing is happening or it's not going anywhere, and I don't understand, and I kind of lose the plot where I'm like, where are we going? What are we supposed to be doing? What happens now? And this movie had that for sure.
A few
It's kind
times.
of like, yeah, a few times. And then it seems to like kind of overcorrect itself, where it's like, well, let's go this direction, and it just is a hard right turn into something else, just for absurdity's sake, I guess.
Yeah.
Is kind of how it feels to me, at least.
I'm trying to remember how they end up in Iraq, right? Don't they end up in Iraq,
Yeah.
or is it just that there's like a Muslim terrorist that like shows
They
up?
crash their plane or helicopter or something.
Okay.
They're in a plane and then they crash and then they randomly end up.
Oh,
in
that's
Iran.
right. Because like the grandpa is actually a government pilot or something like that, right? Or a weapons dealer or something like that.
Something like that. I'm like nodding my head, but in a circle where I'm not entirely sure if that's true.
Like,
There's something like that. So if you haven't seen Paw, or even if you have, you probably don't know what's going on. I'll try to explain it. Paul is a podcaster, much like us, but unlike us, he inherits millions and millions of dollars. Although he can't access the millions and millions of dollars for the next 18 years of his life, I think is what it is.
but he has to spend all of the frequent flyer miles, right?
Yeah. He also gets a shitload of frequent flyer miles that expire like in a week and a half or something like that from his grandma or I don't know, somebody. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't need money, but I'll have frequent flyer miles. So I'm going to take my friends and we're just going to go on this crazy trip around the world for the next month or two.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that. And the thing about Paul is that he has these hero fantasies. It's very much inspired by Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which I love. We both love that movie.
Amazing movie.
Well, the remake anyway. The Danny Kaye original is fun too, but the remake is spectacular with Ben Stiller. And it's kind of like that in the sense that he does have those fantasies that break him out of reality, but also it's mostly for jokes or mostly for absurdity's sake, it seems like. So they end up going on this trip, and then they end up, this is where I lose the plot. Then they end up in this hostel, and the mob comes to them and says, hey, you need to marry my daughter. And they get kidnapped into going and doing that. Maybe I missed something in between there, but that definitely happens. And then they goes to get married because he has to.
But they don't want to, but they do want to. I can't.
Yeah.
You definitely lose track of what you're supposed to be paying attention to on it. I can't believe the movie has a 6.6.
Only 12 ratings, though.
Fair. Which means
very few people have seen it. Most of them are in the cast, I think, that rated it. Sporadic. If you scroll down to the user reviews and it shows the bar chart of the how many people rated it a 1, how many rated it a 10. It's like 1, 3, 6, 8, 10. Like, it's all over the place. But no 2s, no 4s, no 5s, no 7s.
And you can't read any reviews because there are no reviews.
Yeah. Just ratings. So so there's a crazy Italian guy who really, really wants his daughter to marry an American for some reason. I don't remember why.
I don't.
If they tell you,
they might not.
And so he basically has to. They end up with this girl, and then fly somewhere, crash.
We're doing the best job ever.
I promise we watched the whole movie.
We did. We really did.
It's just that it's very hard to follow. And the thing that was a little funny, I did like his friends or the comedic, whatever you call that, where they interject different things or comedic relief, I guess you would call it. I liked his friends and their influence on the story. They felt fairly genuine as far as him and this crazy experience. He and his wife, I did not really buy into. And then the overall story was just kind of weird.
It probably doesn't help.
To summarize it.
Folks, I think Jake and I have to be real honest with you. We did watch it, but we probably both inadvertently watched this like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And have not wanted to rewatch it for.
That's true. I would not say my notes that I took about it are the most robust. They're a little sparse. That's coming through the microphone right now.
We're just gonna be transparent. Jake probably wrote way more notes than I did. I thought I only liked one of the friends.
Okay.
The real dumb one. I think he played. Trying to figure out
the white guy.
Yeah, I did not
with like the curly hair.
I didn't like the white guy. I thought his stuff was just it felt so forced every scene.
Right. I can see that.
I did chuckle at. I liked during the reading of the will how random the stuff was like the frequent flyer miles. I thought that was kind of funny, and the fact that he had to use all of them up immediately, that cracked me up.
Mm-hmm.
I was so confused though, and I guess I'm still a little confused, that I was like, am I supposed to know who this Adam Carbone or this character of Paul is? There was something about it where I was like, this feels
Like
very...
this is an existing sketch or something?
Yeah, like this seems very specific, like YouTube character show.
I could see that.
And I was like, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who this character is, but that's what the movie felt like to me, which made it a struggle for me to really get into the whole time, because I was like, I feel like I need to research who this guy is and this character, but I kind of don't want to, because I'm not that invested. But that's what it felt like to me. I was like, I think this is something for a very, 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 very specific audience.
Yeah, that could be, honestly. I don't know. I
don't know. That was
just
kind of
while
what
I was watching it, but I could see that.
Yeah. I kind of wish the podcaster aspect of it would have been maybe a little more prominent, or a little more, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was, I didn't hate it. It was just, it was an oddball of a movie. I think the funniest gag they have in the whole movie is the flamethrower.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's not even a gag. It's just how bad the CGI is with the weed killer nozzle that it obviously is. That made me laugh. I appreciated that.
Yeah, I agree as well. Okay, so yeah, I don't even know what else to say about that. That was poor Paul. Day Labor, which is from 2024, much more legitimate of a film.
Pretty legit. Yeah.
Real shots, real scenes, real story, real actors. Overall, quite well done. 6.2 on IMDb out of 104 ratings.
You enjoyed this one a lot, didn't you?
Not as much as I wanted to.
Really? Okay.
Mostly because, so I told you that I do love The Most Dangerous Game and anything like that. But it's hard when there are much better versions of the same thing.
Yeah.
And The Hunt being kind of the main one that's like this, but way better. So if you want a movie that's really, really great, watch The Hunt. If you want a movie that's okay, you could watch Day Labor. Which, so I know Day Labor is a thing, and I know immigration is a thing, but I
you don't
maybe
say.
It's maybe it's because I'm partially autistic and retarded. I would never in my life go and get somebody off the street to help me with a job. Like, that is the most absurd thing to me, to go and get a stranger that I'm now going to take in my car, feed lunch, talk to my house to do a job of any sort. It doesn't matter if they're American. It doesn't matter if they're rich. It doesn't matter if they're white. It doesn't matter. If they're a human being I don't know, I'm not going to pick you up in my car and bring you to my... I'm not going to put you in my car and have a conversation and then let you leave. I don't want to talk to you. I don't know you. So maybe I'm weird that way.
So, folks,
but I'm glad that
this is the point of the show that Jake gets us really canceled on this episode. And
I'm glad that it's an option. Because there are people that have the skills to do jobs, and they need people to hire them to do jobs, and I think that that's completely fine. But just me as a consumer, even if I need help with something, I'm not going to ask a stranger on the street to come and get in my truck and do it. So that's a weird thing about me, I guess. So just I'm not like saying the concept is far-fetched. I understand it's a real thing.
You've spent so much time on
but it is a thing that I focused on in the point of the movie. Because I guess I've never seen a movie about it, is part of it. I've never seen a movie where the main character is like trying to do that to make money. so I did think that was interesting that this main character, who's not even an immigrant, he's an American citizen and actually a war veteran that just got fired and is trying to make ends meet. And he's like, hey, I can do some work and make some money. And so, and then kind of gets mistakenly caught up in this situation where they're rounding up illegal aliens and taking them to a farm ranch and murdering them, or telling them that they get to escape, but really hunting them down and murdering them. And so overall, I mean, the movie's not bad, really, by any means. I thought that my main weakness with it is really the villains don't have any actual legitimate motive.
Well, they're pretty
for being that bad.
They're pretty stereotypical. Like
Yeah,
they were
one-dimensional.
They were portrayed as the stereotype
We hate Mexicans.
redneck, we hate Mexicans kind of thing.
They took her jabs.
That was the only thing that I was kind of like, all right, not every white guy hates Mexicans. In fact, most of us don't.
Yeah, I would say almost all of them do not hate Mexicans.
In fact, there's a lot of indifference going on. So, that aspect I kind of rolled my eyes at because I was like, okay, so clearly their characterization is a statement. Cool. Especially because they keep screaming the same thing that you hear from the people with the bullhorn on the news. So it's like, all right, we get your point. But
it was such a weird thing. It was such a weird thing where they seem to be so against illegal immigration, but that when they find out that this guy is an American, they're fine with it. So it's like they come across as trying to be super racist most of the movie, and then it's like, no, we're not racist. We just really want you to have citizenship and be part of the country. And as soon as you do, we're totally fine with you and not going to murder you anymore. I was like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah. My biggest issue with the movie wasn't all that, but it has everything to do with the villains. Potentially the worst acting for a video or a villain in this capacity I've seen for a while. I was very much like, are you only doing single takes? Like, are these the rehearsals and you just couldn't get everyone back or reshoots? Is that what happened here? Like, I'm having a hard time figuring out what's going on because I've seen this guy in other movies and I don't remember him being this bad, but he is really, really bad. I just, I thought it was okay. I thought it was definitely interesting. The like twist that they try to pull in the movie, I think was one of those super obvious ones that was going to show up where you're like, oh, of course other people are in on this. Like, no one else saw that coming. All right.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Maybe I've watched enough or too many movies where like the way a character acts as they leave frame usually tells you one way or another.
A lot of hits.
Yeah. But I thought it was all right. I think it's an interesting take. I do agree with you that if you want to see a movie that's based on the most dangerous game, The Hunt is definitely probably the best one. It's also the funniest one.
Yeah. And you get to learn how to properly cut tomatoes, which changed my life.
You get to learn how to properly cut tomatoes, which we all need.
Yeah, it legitimately changed my life. That movie, I will always give it credit for that.
That's awesome.
Cutting tomatoes is so much better now.
Yeah, I'm actually really shocked at Jake because when I was watching, I was like, I bet he loved this movie because it's right up your alley. It's got like all the elements that you normally really like, especially in kind of a suspense thriller like this.
Yeah. racist hillbillies,
Well, besides that,
guns.
you know what I mean? Like the survival aspect. How do you?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, them trying to survive and figure out how to get out of there, and him kind of going back to using his military training after having not for a long time, and also kind of seeming to kind of want to shut it out from his mind, suffering with PTSD and stuff, as well as like, do I allow that part of myself back into the world and needing it to come back into the world? That was interesting for sure. But I agree with you. The villains in particular were just so weak. It's a lot like it reminded me of End of Watch, which is a fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good
It's
movie.
a fantastic movie if you stop watching when all the villains are on screen. There's something about that movie.
You're not watching most of the movie.
There's something about that movie that is so disjointed. The movies with Michael Pena and Jake Gyllenhaal, the scenes with them are phenomenal. But every time it cuts to these gang members that are trying to hunt them down and they're on the phone and they're doing all this stuff, it just feels like a completely different movie that, yeah, they did one take. They're completely untrained, unpaid actors. It's like, who are these people and why are they ruining this movie for me? Because it just doesn't fit at all. So that's kind of how this felt. It's like I liked where it was going. I liked the point of it. I liked what it could be, but overall, what it was just fine.
What you had hoped.
Yeah, it's just all right.
That's fair.
I think we have one more.
We do, and it was the one that we had to reshuffle for to find a new number. Yeah,
so
10.
we tried to find a movie called Our Love, which was this South African something movie that I just could not get or could not find anywhere. So we spun again and came up with this 1966 Western called The Professionals, which I think you said sounds like a movie we should have seen by now, but both of us had not.
Yep.
I don't know that I've even heard of it. It didn't sound familiar. And the poster didn't look familiar even, but had a 7.3 on IMDb, seemed promising.
Yep.
Had a familiar cast with Burt Lancaster and Lee Marvin and Jack Palance, all the Woody Strode, all of the quintessential Western folk. What did you think about it?
I really liked it. There was a part of me where I was like, this feels like kind of Dirty Dozen, but not. And then I read that the Dirty Dozen came out the following year. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it felt like the Dirty Dozen. It definitely felt more like a war movie, or like those movies with like a small special operations group, like Navy SEALs, or is it Navy SEALs with Chuck Norris?
I thought Navy SEALs.
Delta Forces.
Delta Force.
It felt like Delta Force, but in the Wild West, basically. That there's these guys that have worked on a bunch of jobs together that know their way around guns and know the way of the world. When Lee Marvin was like, if these guys riding towards us come at a single file, no biggie, they're just passing through. If they spread out and come at us, and the guy takes off his hat with his left hand and covers this thing, then you just start opening up. And I was like, that's going to happen. And it was awesome when it did happen, because they just start unloading at these guys that are trying to kill him.
Yeah,
so, it was really fun. Really,
I thought it was a cool movie. And the whole time I was like, how is this a movie that Jake and I, neither of us watched? Like, how did neither of our dads sit us down to tell us, like, you should watch this one. I think you'll really like this one. Because we grew up watching movies with Lee Marvin. We grew up watching movies with these guys. We've seen all of the Westerns. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance is one of your favorites. So, like, it was even more for me, like, how did Jake never watch this movie?
Yeah, I enjoyed that crossover with Lee Marvin and Woody Strode both being in Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. That's pretty great.
But yeah, I thought this was a fantastic movie. I was like, this is one I will revisit, because I thought the story was well made. It's well paced. It's well thought out. I thought it was really interesting. I think the funniest part of it not because it's actually like funny, but it's just wild, is, and I think it's because my biggest knowledge or whatever of Jack Palance is, City Slickers,
Yeah.
or him as the gang leader in Batman. But he plays a Mexican who speaks Spanish for the majority of the film. And he's crazy and he's wild and he's super active. And I was like, this is kind of funny seeing Jack Palance moving this fast. And
it's not what I'm used to
at all. But I really enjoyed it. And I will tell you, the twist, which I did not expect this to be a movie that had a twist, but I was like, oh, that's actually pretty well done. Like, all right. I'm not completely shocked, but that's pretty well done. That's
Yeah. I expected it to just be a basic, for what they set out the plot at the beginning of the movie to be what the whole movie is, that there's this group of guys that get hired by this wealthy rancher to go and get his wife back from these Mexicans that basically took her across the border because she's from there, and so she sometimes wants to go back. But I was like, yeah, that's all it is. It's just going to be a big, not like revenge film, but like a journey to get her and bring her back and keep her, basically, when they try to take her back, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, really cool movie. Really, really fun. If you like Westerns at all, I would definitely recommend The Professionals. It did catch me off guard, though, maybe because we watched so many crazy movies this couple weeks, that this movie has nudity in it and is one of the first Westerns that has ever had nudity in it. And it just caught me off guard. I was like, did that happen just now? Like, it's not obvious. It's kind of more far away, and it's, it's not nothing like
it's nothing like what we watched. I think the nudity in it is,
but it did stand
pretty...
out. I was like, I've never seen a movie like a Western like this before.
Right. Yeah, it didn't really like register with me right away. But it was one of those like, wait, was that actually on the screen just now? Like,
yeah, I was like, they're not in corsets or underwear or whatever at this. Like, she just takes her like stuff off. I was like, what's happening? But
I did have to laugh that this set of randoms ended up having a considerable amount of nudity out of the 10 movies.
That's true. And I think the problem is that the ones that did really, really did. Looking back at the list, it was only a couple.
So Locked
Up did. You Might As Well Live did. Dix, at least.
Yep.
The Witches.
Yeah, because remember she, the Clint Eastwood one, she like completely exposes at the end.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they're Italian. What are you going to do? Yolanda, no. Alabama Sasquatch, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
Who would you take to a desert island? I kind of did. They was just blurred. It was blurred in the background.
No, the opening, remember? Well, because they're laying...
Her and her, yeah.
They're naked
in bed, but like the camera is shallow depth, and whoever's in the background is always blurred. For Me and My Gal, no.
Nope.
Poor Paul, no. Day Labor, no. Professionals, yes. So...
Okay.
I'd say half or more was no, but the ones that were,
it just
were
seems
really,
like
really,
there was so much, because there still was a lot that we had to see. But I was really finishing all 10 because The Professionals was the last one that I watched.
Me too. Mostly because I saved it for last. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna like this.
Like this one feels like a safe bet.
I also feel like I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
So.
And it was. It's super entertaining. I found myself kind of shocked that it hasn't been remade. I'm not saying it should be. In fact, I would actually prefer it doesn't. But the whole...
I did see that they really wanted to make a sequel for it.
Okay.
But they just couldn't get the four main guys scheduled together.
Yeah. Well, apparently Burt Lancaster and Lee Marvin absolutely hated each other. Which, to me, like, when I read that, I was like, well, they're working. They look like they're getting, like, their chemistry is pretty good. So I guess that says something about their craft.
Yeah. consummate professionals.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like The Professionals. I think that one, and for me and my gal, I think those were the best ones that we got to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think looking back at the list again. Yeah, I think so too, for sure. You Might As Well Live was third for me. I thought that
Okay.
that was better than expected. Um, but yeah, I think The Professionals way high number one, and then
Yeah.
for me, My Gal was number two for quite fun.
You're going to laugh, but I'd probably go with Yolanda. That's my number 3.
I don't doubt it. Like that movie was perfectly fine and very enjoyable for what it was. So
Yeah. I was
totally
like,
fine.
man, kids' cartoons, like, they know how to just do this. They're like, we made
Mhm.
here's the conflict. We made our point. We moved on. Next one. Like,
Right,
we
exactly.
don't need this. But it was
I
a
was just looking
very,
at the I was just looking at the more like this on the professionals section,
yeah.
and there are other westerns I have not even heard of that I probably should watch. Vera Cruz with Gary Cooper and Burt Lancaster. The
Okay.
Man from Laramie with Jimmy Stewart. Apparently, I just haven't seen any Burt Lancaster movies.
I've seen
Shenandoah
Gunfight at
with
the
Jimmy
OK
Stewart.
Corral.
Yeah.
I've never seen Man from Laramie. I feel like I've heard my dad talk about Shenandoah. Maybe I've seen it.
Anyway, if they remade The Professionals, I think I wouldn't want it to be a direct remake, but I think that you could take the same concept and maybe modernize it. Like have this team of four
I would
previous
almost be
acquaintances
worried
that
about
need to
modernizing it.
go need to go get back this guy's wife and just do it without asking him any questions, kind of thing.
Yeah. I think I would have a little bit reservation on modernizing it just because I think part of the appeal of it or the suspense of it is the like having to survive the desert without
Yeah.
like technology, without really anything, because they just kind of ride out there with a handful of horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has that great look and feel of a desert western with the it's a good looking beautiful movie for
Yeah.
sure.
It's a cool
I like
flick.
that.
It's one I will definitely revisit because I had a lot of fun with it. I really did. What a journey, man. What a journey.
What a journey. I'm also glad it's over.
No joke.
That was crazy.
It
So
was
yeah,
interesting. It was definitely interesting.
I would definitely recommend if you can't figure out what to watch. I like the roulette wheel at realgoodmovies.com. But be advised that when you put it on any score in any genre, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah,
Can be a good thing and can not be a good thing.
But they can't all be winners, you know?
That's true.
It's
That is true. That's what I mean, no rain, no rainbows, you know? Like
that's true.
You got to have the bad stuff so that the good stuff is actually good.
The line is you cannot have the sweet without the sour or something like that. It's from Vanilla Sky. Yeah. What do we got coming up next, Jake?
Next episode, I'm really excited about. We're doing, I don't know if we decided if we're doing a top 10 or not yet. Are we doing top 10 or just a general? We can.
I thought we were.
Can.
That's how I've been.
We're doing top 10. We definitely decided and have known this the whole time that we're doing a top 10 scariest non-horror movies.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of movies that are actually kind of scary for whatever reason, whether it's the story or the presentation or whatever, that are not horror movies at all. And so it'll come out just a day or two after Halloween next time. And that will be our ode to the scary season.
It's true.
This year.
Yep. Yeah, not revisiting, but watching, like trying to compile this. It's been kind of funny because I have learned that. So I went on and just did like popular scary non-horror movies. And
Okay.
the internet took that as I was asking, what are the scariest movies that are
Yeah.
horror? And I was like, that's not what I meant. But through some searches and just kind of seeing what other people are coming up with, I had to laugh because I found a list, I think it was on Reddit, that it was titled exactly that. Like, the scariest non-horror movies. And then they had like a sub thing or a subtitle after it that was like, movies that claim to be one genre and then unexpectedly become horror.
Yeah.
Reading the whole list made me laugh because every movie they listed was like, no, that was marketed as horror. No, that's horror. No, that's straight horror. Like, there's not a moment in this movie that's not horror genre. And it was, the more I found myself thinking that, the more comments I was finding of other people pointing that out, of being like, you understand you were listing all horror films. You're just complaining that they like built the story before they got into it. It's like, all right, once again, the internet cannot be trusted. But
Right.
But this is a fun list revisiting.
Yeah.
Or
I've
like
had to
over.
approach it. I've been hard to find any sort of external input, so I've been approaching and just looking at my library and trying to figure out the scary things about these other movies. So that will be fun next time. Definitely tune in for that.
It will be a lot of fun next time.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Cool.
Again, we're sorry. and and we'll see you next time.
Have a good one, guys.